We are live. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I definitely had a lot of fun this past weekend. Went to the Calling Chicago. I'll go over how my weekend went. I was pretty happy overall with how it went. Could have been better. Um, got a little unlucky in some parts, but it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely glad I made it. I'm glad I played in the Calling. And I'm looking forward to another big Living Legend event because I actually thought it was pretty fun. Um, yeah, I figured we can. Yeah, James. I mean, I feel like it was fun on your end. I don't know. I know it was a lot of draft. um, but yeah, I figured I can do a recap of my event. I have a little bit of show and tell that I can do because I was able to pick up some pretty cool stuff over the weekend. And then afterwards, we can maybe play some Yarl because I haven't actually really played Yarl in Classic Constructed at all. When the hero first got released and when we got the armory cards, I brewed a couple deck lists, but I didn't actually play with any of them because that was also around the time that I decided to play in the Calling. So pretty much all of my Talishar time was devoted to playing Oldhim. Oldhim is what I took to the Calling. The deck list is on the screen right now. It's also in the description of the video. I think this list is the exact same as the list that I played last week. No changes. And I feel pretty confident about the list that I took. I think that if anything, maybe a third CNC maybe could have been good just to be more disruptive against certain decks. But I feel like the main board choices that I made were pretty much exactly where I wanted them to be. Uh, you have your standard count your blessings, your earth decomposes. I really liked Frozen to Death as an ice card. Just being able to threaten certain cards, I think, is very strong. And then I liked the reinforced steel. It actually, I think it came up in one Starvo match that I played. And then I really liked the truces as well, just as anti-aggro tech to be able to go into their turn with a virtual 6 card hand if I was able to set up an arsenal with it. Sideboard still looks the same. I got my Starvo reactions and then my anti-aggro package in the Arctics and the weakest link. The one weakest link felt fine. The Arctics felt really good. And then the Drone of Brutalities so that I don't fatigue in certain matchups. The Arctics were awesome, pretty much the whole weekend. I think there was like 2 or 3 rounds that I played this in, where the opponent just like immediately passed back, just because the 3 frostbites was too much and they couldn't do anything on their turn. So then I got to come back to my hand or to my turn with a full hand. So these were awesome. These were great. As far as how the weekend went, I did manage to make day 2. And if you're in our Discord, you would have got that update. I was kind of trying to update everything live. So I did make day 2, and that felt pretty good. Day 1, my round 1 opponent was an Icelander, and I feel pretty good in that matchup. I think that Icelander is. It used to be Icelander favored, but I think that Icelander is pretty unfavored now. The way the matchup used to go is the Icelander was able to set up a big um what's that card called? You guys know what I'm talking about. Ice Eternal. Big Ice Eternal combo. And usually when they went for the combo, their deck was like this big. They had like 10 cards maybe. So now that we get to play blue Summers Falls just as part of our blue package, we reset every single one of their frost hexes. So if they were already comboing with nothing left in the deck, putting everything down to the bottom makes it so that they just don't have time to combo. They would have to find all 3 of their frost hexes and go for the combo before we found like a single Summer's Fall. And that's pretty much how that matchup went. I was able to tuck all 3 of his frost hexes, and then he just ran out of cards, and he couldn't keep enough cards in hand to redeploy them and combo. We were close to going to time, but then he just conceded because he realized that there was no way for him um, to kill me. And then the count your blessings also, they do a lot of work in the matchup, just being able to keep you out of a smaller combo range. So we picked up a win round one, and that felt really good. Definitely how we want to start our day. Round two, I played into an Aurora, and I didn't have the most practice against Aurora, but she's kind of just another, aggro type deck like Zen, like Chain. So I have, the package that I want to bring in, and I have a game plan. So we just tried to be as disruptive as possible on every turn, whether it's giving them the Arctics, swinging with the weakest link or a CNC, bottoming cards with our Earth cards, keeping blizzards, playing a channel. I think I played a hypothermia against them, and they were only able to send one attack. The Aurora was one of the matchups where I played the Arctic, and they just had to pass back. So we were able to kind of just keep chipping damage, and then they got so low while we were gaining life that eventually, again, they just weren't able to keep enough cards in hand, and we were able to get there. I think it was with a felling that I closed the game out with. So ended up 2-0 on the day, and that was awesome. Definitely, what I was trying to do. I feel like I got the matchup that I was trying to target. Round three, we paired into a Zen, and this game ended up going really long. Zen was one of the decks that I was trying to target, and I have a lot of practice into it, but the decisions in that game I feel like were a little bit more difficult, and it took a lot longer for the game as a whole to kind of get to the point where one of us is going to die. And we were really close to going to time. And I feel like because of that, I started making some rush decisions. And there was a turn where my opponent attacked with, it was the final turn of the game. My opponent, I think he played Aurora the Tiger, made a Tiger in hand, and then he attacked for one. And I made the decision to just put Rampart in front of it. I should have at least put a full card in front of it. But when I only put Rampart in front of it, he ended up going triple Maul on top of the card, and I didn't have a D-React. And he was able to hit me for a bunch and make like 6 Tigers in hand. And essentially, I took 8 damage. I think it was at 10, so I went down to 2. And then he still has the rest of his hand and all the Tigers, and I don't have enough cards to block it out. But I feel like if I had more time to think, I potentially could have won that matchup, because when he did that, he had almost no cards left in his deck. Definitely all the power cards were gone. So he was starting to run on fumes, and the 3 Mauls that he was able to line up was kind of his last push for damage. So again, I think that given more time, if maybe that was like a top 8 match, I could have potentially gotten there. But he ended up taking the win on that one. So I ended up 2-1 after the end of round three. Round four, I played against a Viserai. It was Chris Ioli. Um, Chris is awesome. He does some content for like AGE. I watch his streams whenever he goes live. I feel like he hasn't streamed in a bit, but he's a very good player. He was on Viserai, and I was expecting some sort of like rune chant stacking Viserai, but he actually ended up being on like an aggro Duskblade Viserai, and it was going kind of poorly for me. I was taking some big Duskblade hits while trying to set up some damage, and I thought I was going to lose the game. He must have had like 5 or 6 counters on a Duskblade, and he drew up his hand, and I think it was 4 red non-attack actions and a Sonata. And then I think he goes to play the Sonata, and then he whiffed on attack actions. I'm pretty sure I I Arcticked him the turn before just to try to slow him down. So he had to pitch all 3 reds into the Sonata and then try to find an attack. But he wasn't able to find one, and he lost all of his counters. And then a few turns later, he was able to build back up a couple, but then he hit another Runeblade hand where like the only thing he did was swing the Duskblade. So he lost his counters then. And then towards the end of the game, I was able to resolve Warmongers, and he reset his counters again. So I feel like if he just didn't draw that all red Runeblade hand, I potentially lose that game. But luck was on my side and I ended up winning. So we were 3-1 at the end of round four. Um, he won the Battle Hardened in Texas the weekend before and second at the Battle Hardened in Chicago, same list. Yeah, he's a really good player. And also a really cool guy. So shout out to Chris Iali. Um, round five, I played into a Lexi. So we were both 3-1. So Lexi got 3 wins. But even from before, I felt pretty good into Lexi. And now I have more tools with like the fellings and the plow unders. So really that matchup I think is just straight Oldhim favored. And it didn't really feel that difficult to squeak out the win on that one. I think it's just that much tilted in our favor. So we were able to beat the Lexi. We go 4-1. There's 2 more rounds in the day. And so far, I haven't really paired into the decks that I want to be pairing into. I want to be playing Zens. I want to be playing Starvos. I felt really, really good against Starvo, and there were so many of them. Um, I think there was like 30 something Starvos, and I was looking at the top tables and they were all around me. I just couldn't pair into one. But there were a couple decks that I was looking to not play against as well, and there was a couple of them up towards the top. Mainly, I was trying to dodge Prism. I knew that there would be at least like 2 or 3 Dromais. I know Mara was going to be on it, but I wasn't sure if anyone else was going to try to pick that up as well. And then I was trying to avoid Kano as well. Um, so I wasn't really finding, the abundance of Zens and Starvos that I was trying to find. But round six, I ended up pairing into Will Bradshaw on Prism. And the Prism matchup in this version of the deck is just straight unwinnable. There is nothing that this deck can do to beat Prism. We don't have any way to efficiently clear the auras. We don't even have a lot of poppers for their Herald attacks. So it's I decided that it just wasn't worth playing. I told my opponent, like, I'm playing Oldhim. I don't think that this is worth me playing, so like I'm just gonna concede. And he was, very understanding. He said that he thinks that it would pretty much go the same way I thought it would go. And I was just like, well, the upside is we both get to get lunch early and um, just go into the next one. So I'm 4-2, and I think the cutoff was 5-2. So I have to win the next one if I want to day two. We found out later that just due to the numbers, I think they wanted 48 people for day two. There was a handful of X3s that made it in. And I think that if I had lost the next one, I might have still made it in as one of like the highest X3s. But round seven, I played into my first Starvo. So I finally found one. And the game goes pretty much how I want it to. We have all of these big D reacts. We even have the blue staunches. Um, just block out their big fuses, ice react the last card from their hammers out of their hand. Just try to tank through a bunch of their early damage. And then late game, we start winning. Um, I like to pitch my count your blessings for second cycle. I can't remember if it was this game or my second Starvo game where I don't think I played a single one in my first cycle and they all went to the second cycle. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. And so we get through, all of the first cycle cards. We're both sitting at around 20. And then I gain life up to like 43 while still pressuring him down to like 13. So at that point, after I had fired off all of my count your blessings, he had like no power left in his deck. The matchup was very close to going to time. No, actually, this one did go to time, and my opponent had to get up from the table to go talk to the judge because I think he wanted to know like what he could and couldn't say as far as conceding goes. So he comes back to the table. We resume the turn after time was called. I think he was attacking me with like his last red evergreen. The only red left in his deck was an Oakenold. And again, I'm at like 43. So I take the hit from the evergreen just because it's not really something I need to think about. Go back to my turn and I attack him with a red Drone of Brutality. Um, the opponent decides to make no blocks, they take lethal damage, and then they die. Essentially him conceding the match. And afterwards, we kind of talked it out. He was telling me he was on the fence about whether or not he had enough damage left in the deck to actually kill me. And we kind of like showed each other what was left in the deck, and I showed him the drone loop that I can put him in, where I can block out everything that he's doing and still send a 6 every turn, where he can't block that all out. So eventually, I would win that game if we had more time. So shout out to the opponent for essentially making the concession, because he would have gotten fatigued. So end day one going 5-2, and I'm feeling really good. There are only 4 more rounds in day 2, and I'm realistically not expecting to make top 8. All I want to do is try to win 2 of the next 4, and I'm very confident that I can cash. If I only win 1, it's borderline. But ideally, I'm trying to win 2 more and go, what would that put me? 7-4. I'm pretty sure that locks me for cashing. So we go into round 2, and I play against a second Starvo. And I'm feeling really good because, again, this is what I want to be playing against. And the matchup goes pretty much identical to the last one. We don't go to time on that one. I think my opponent concedes before we get to time, but for the same reason. He sees the drones. I think I've attacked with the red one like 4 times in the match already. I think he just knows that eventually this will go to fatigue, and he realizes that he doesn't have enough power left in his deck. So we got another Starvo win under our belt, and there are 3 more rounds. I'm just trying to win 1 more. Round 9, I play against Cody Williams on RuneGate Chain. And the chain matchup, I feel like it can go either way. Depending on their banishes and their draws, I can get really lucky and it feels easy. But if they banish like the right cards off the top of the deck, they can just like present an insane amount of damage. So we get to the second to last turn of the game because he doesn't have a lot of deck left. And within 2 more turns of banishes, he's going to have no deck at all. The second to last turn of the game, I think I had to block out, so I just go to draw up, and I draw red, count your blessings, yellow, count your blessings, Arctic Incarceration, and Command and Conquer. And I do have a card in Arsenal. And this is going to be one of his pop-off turns. And I don't have blocking cards. 2 of them don't block, and 1 of them is a 2-block. So he starts to go off. I pitch my yellow count your blessings to try to bottom the Arsenal card and just try to find maybe like a blue for some arcane damage. And I draw another red count your blessings. So now my hand is 2 red count your blessings, a 2-block, and a 3-block. And I have 1 pitch floating for like a rampart. So like he had started to play his turn, and I'm pretty low at that point. So like I put my hand on the table and I just told him like I'm kind of screwed here. Like I'm not going to be able to stop enough damage. And he looks at my hand and he's like, "Yeah, you're kind of screwed here." And then we start talking some more, and I just realized that like the the gap between a lot of the players at those top tables and myself is like so big. And I feel like it was a really eye-opening moment because as we're talking about the match, he's telling me about how he feels really good into Oldhim. And he's just like, I can present a lot of damage and I can set up 1 big turn at the end that will kill you even through like blocking out with your whole hand. And he starts showing me, and he's like, my next soul shackles, I'm going to banish 4 of these off the top, and then in between this shackle and this shackle, I'm going to play this Art of War, draw these 2 cards, and it's a blue and a Putrid Stirrings. And he's like, I'm going to let the rest of them resolve. And then he's explaining to me how it's gonna let him go like double Putrid Stirrings into multiple attacks on that turn. And I just realized that like it's just like a skill gap, right? Like I'm not that good. I would never be able to do that. Um, so I really didn't feel too bad about the loss. Like I think that overall he's just a better player than me. and I think that his deck is good into mine, and I don't really feel that bad. But he was a really nice guy. It was nice talking to him. Again, really just like eye-opening experience. But we are now 6-3. There are two more rounds left, and round 10. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, Cusco. I don't know. I don't think I would be able to do that. But round 10, we find another prism. I can't remember who it was. I don't think they were a big name, but just like the last one, I decided to just concede the matchup. My thing is like I know it's like essentially a 0% matchup, and I think that if I try to play the matchup, my headspace going into the next round is just like not going to be good. So I just concede it, go into the next round fresh, and just don't even worry about it. So we're 6-3, and again, if I can win one more, I feel like I cash. And our last round, we pair into another prism. So I found two Starvos for the weekend and three prisms. And there were way more Starvos than there was prisms. Like, I think I just got a little bit unlucky with Gem. I knew that that was a possibility just because of the deck that I'm bringing. Like, there are certain decks that I just wouldn't want to see. But we ended up seeing them at the end of the day. And we ended up going 6-5, right? 6-5, 11 rounds, yeah. Instead of 7-4. And I think I ended 36th, and you needed to make 32 to cash. So if I did win the last one, I would have cashed at the minimum, I think. But it was still a fun weekend. I had a really good time. Um, Nobody from the team made top eight, but one of our teammates did top eight the Battle Hardened with the Zen deck that they were testing. So congratulations to Jeremy. Shout out to Alex. I know he was kind of brewing the deck that everyone took for the most part. There were three of us that made day two, so like that was cool too. But yeah, overall, just a lot of fun. My wife was there. She was playing in side events. A lot of the cool swag that we got was stuff that she opened or stuff that she got as part of like her prize packages. And then, with every big event, there's always like some amount of swag that you end up buying for your decks and stuff. So I have a little bit of show and tell that we can do. Let's see. I need to be more this way. There were some guys there that had some history pack French packs, and we bought a few. Nothing like crazy impressive, but like just getting like French null rune. That's kind of cool. We got a French red and ledger, also kind of cool. French steel blade supremacy. Oh, that's right. Bryce did make top two. Yeah, yeah. So there were four of us. So like that's awesome. And I think Bryce was the closest one to top eighting until like the last couple of rounds. French breeze rider boots. French spoils of war. And then probably the coolest hit, we got like French unmovables and sink belows. And then probably the coolest hit is the French E-Strike that we opened. So like that's awesome. That's a good hit. So that was the history pack stuff that we got. Jess got the Go Again package for the side events. So she got a cold foil Channel Lightning Valley. That looks really nice. In side events, we got two Marvels, one of them playable. We got Sigil of Lightning and Sigil of the Arknight. With tickets, we were able to pick up a cold foil Quicken token. And then Jess also opened a Felling of the Crown in one of her sealed pools. And then before we started the event, I had to pick up some cards from MinMax. And on Friday, we were kind of all just hanging out. And I was able to trade in three of my non-foil weakest links for two foils. I've been wanting the foils for a while, so I was pretty happy to pick those up. I needed some drones, and I wanted to pick up some EA truces. The drones that I picked up, the blue was pretty good, but the red that I ended up getting that I ordered was pretty curled. I went to MinMax and I let them know that like I was picking it up for the event, and I wanted to see if I could swap it for one that was a little bit less curled. So they let me go through all of their drones, and all of them were pretty bad. So I had to buy the cold foil because it's flat. So we picked up a cold foil drone for like $40, which I feel like was a pretty good deal. And then I did get the EA truces, which like this card is awful in EA. Like it looks good, but the text on this is so dark. I had a judge call on this regarding the timing between this and a rune chant. And the judge goes to pick up my card and he's like, I cannot read this. I need to look up the text. So they look really nice, but kind of hard to read. That was pretty much everything I needed to pick up for the deck to be able to play. Um, but while we were there, I had a bunch of stuff that I was kind of looking to move, and there was a place that was giving me like a really good rate for it. Um, so I was convinced by a few people, one being my wife, one being my teammate Ethan, to make a really, really bad decision. My Oldhim list was only playing two Command and Conquers. And I've been wanting to upgrade my Command and Conquers for a long time. So we picked up two Fable. Sorry, my dogs are barking. I was able to trade in my three rainbow foils and a stack of cards that I was looking to move anyways, and essentially get one of them for free almost. I think one of them cost me like $70 at the end, and then I bought the other one outright. So I now only own two Command and Conquers. Eventually, I will need to buy a third one, but I figure I have a couple months to save up for that because RTN season is in February. So that was awesome. That was probably one of the coolest things that I picked up all weekend. Yeah, Cusco. I was super happy with the decision. It hurt the wallet. It hurt the wallet a lot, but like we're fine. You know, it didn't put us in any sort of bad situation. It feels rough spending that much money on a card, you know. But I was really happy with it, so I'm glad I did it. I can't wait to get the third, and then I'll have the playset. Um, but yeah, that was pretty much the weekend. I don't think I'm missing anything. I guess when we went to dinner on, I think it was Friday night. Apparently, all the Flesh and Blood players ended up going to like the same restaurant, just because it's like right down the street from the convention center. We saw the MinMax guys, and they went to the same restaurant. We ordered them a shot of Malort each. And I guess Peter from MinMax, he had never had Malort before. I think Sam had it like once before. But yeah, I feel like as revenge for the Malort, they paired me into the prisms. So I think that it's their fault, but next time we just don't order the Malort. Maybe we get them like the good stuff, something on like top shelf. Um, but yeah, super fun weekend. I'm really excited for the next one. I don't remember off the top of my head what the next like big event that's in our area is going to be. Usually we make it to like the ones that are in Minneapolis, Chicago, Columbus, Indianapolis. So whatever happens next in that area, I'll probably be at just because they're super fun. But yeah, we can go ahead and maybe get into some gameplay. I don't really have a deck that I wanted to play. I think that this was the last Yarl deck that I put together, and honestly, I have no idea how good it is. We could start here, then maybe make some changes live. What was in this deck? I think I wanted to be able to Tunic Pummel. So we have the CNCs. The Earthlore Surge I like as another like Tunic card, being able to go 2 into 2 off of a Tunic. The Ice Quakes I think are really good. The blue base looks pretty standard. There hasn't been much announced for the next year past March. Memphis is basically it in the US. Okay, so then maybe like April, May, maybe summer, we'll get some more in our area. I think that would be cool. We're not on yellow pummel. I don't know how if we want to go like super hard on the pummel. I don't think you want too many because it doesn't work with your weapon. Yeah, blue base looks pretty standard. And then we have our disruption and defensive options in the sideboard. Yeah, we can try this out. See if we can find a match. The other cool thing that happened at the event over the weekend was the history of draft. There were a lot of people in our area that decided to join that, and there were rumors that the Welcome to Wraith was going to be first edition. I think I had heard that for like a month leading up to it. Everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, they said it's going to be like you're not going to want to miss it. Like it's totally going to be alpha packs," and it ended up being alpha packs, which was super cool. There's a guy local to us that opened up a cold foil tunic, so definitely congrats to him. That is awesome. Do we want to board up? I think I could be okay with boarding up. I think running 63 seems good. Yeah, thank you, Riku. I was really, really happy with them. Yeah, it's super cool, James. I mean, even like you got a pink pummel, right? Like that's just cool to have. Ooh, that's a really good start from them. Um, I guess we just give them we'll give them this, and then maybe we can draw the ice card. It's an unfortunate turn to not have the D react. Drew a pummel. Um, probably not going to be able to decompose this anytime soon. Maybe we can just put a lot of these cards at the bottom. I've yet to open an alpha pack, but I've opened a pack of everything else, not just alpha and judge pack. At some of the older events, MinMax used to put out first ed arc packs, and me and my friends would go kind of crazy buying those. I think they were like 80 bucks each, and there was a weekend that we each bought like 5 or 6 of them. They're super fun to open though, right? So we have the Oakenold here. Oh no, we bottomed the Oakenold. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we put an Earth card down there, so we're definitely going to want to pitch an Ice card. We can go Ice, Ice to swing Sledge, and then pummel the Sledge, so we can block with this Rootbound Carapace. So then our pitch stack looks like blue, earth, Oakenold, ice, ice. I think Sledge is the right play into the Guardian Mirror. I know Summit technically also attacks for 6, but I think it costing 6 to attack is a little awkward. Being able to keep the extra card to Arsenal off of the Tunic, I think, is important. We'll sneak through some damage here. It's going to go plating, Titan's Fist. This only affects attack action cards. So on our turn, we can go take a card for them from them with Winter's Bite, maybe gain 2, and then pitch both of these to Sledge. So we're going to say no blocks here. Yeah, it was super fun. It sucks that you couldn't make it, Cusco. I thought it was going to be super fun if you were there. Didn't really seem like we had anybody from um either like this channel or like Agroblaze. I know he has a big following. I didn't see anyone that I recognized from, the chats. Definitely a lot of big pro players that showed up though. I think I should have been on Starvo. Um, I was very confident in my deck and it being something that's good into Starvo. But I think that it's just too vulnerable to some of the other decks. So ultimately, I think that Starvo probably would have been the right call for me. Did he win that clash? He did. So we're gonna have a Quicken token. We do have enough to decompose as well. I kind of like saving the Quicken. What if we? Hmm. No, probably not this turn. We could maybe go like Mangle into Crumble with the Quicken, and then try to set up Felling in Arsenal. That would mean we'd block nothing though. I think we're gonna block like this. And then maybe it's pitch the Crumble to the Gauntlets, one float, get both effects, attack with Mangle. Thoughts on the new Guardian card, Rolling Fissure? I think that it's nice tech. I don't. I like that it incentivizes you to play tectonic plating. Is it a 3 block? If it's a 3 block, I like it as just like part of the blue suite. The problem is we have so many good blue cards already. Okay, he's gonna give me the Civic Steps again because if he doesn't, they're gonna get broken anyways. We do open up a leg slot, which is awesome. I think it's good. I'm not the most excited about it. Command and Conquer. We have no resources floating, so we're not expecting a pummel. So we can just give him 2 3 blocks. Yeah, that's the awkward part is it costs 1 technically, because it's X1 if I remember correctly. So like that's kind of awkward. I don't hate it, but it's not the most exciting thing in the world. All right, we're just gonna rip the felling. I think we need to start getting the decomposes online. And then, oh, that's right. We had the pummel. It's fine. We save a pummel. I've been so bad at my fellings. Like I don't know what it is, but I always forget that I'm gonna bottom a card. We can get our second decompose with this root bound. So now all the future ones are gonna be turned on. Um, with this hand, we could potentially look to put a counter on his crumble, or put a counter on his tectonic plating with the crumble. I don't hate that. Yarl pronounced like jar. Is that the correct way to pronounce it, or are you just doing a Wyatt thing right now? Julian, my friend got a pink crippling crush in the alpha draft. That's awesome. That's a good pickup. We're just gonna pass. We're gonna arsenal this staunch response. Yeah, that's super cool. I like that a lot. If I didn't have like every Guardian card rainbow foil that I play with, I think having pink cripplings would be super cool. But I'm not going to spend the money on pink rainbow foil crippling crushes. Macho Grande for 9. We are just going to staunch this, and then we're going to break his tectonic plating. That's fair, Wyatt. That's fair. I give you permission not to study. Oh, did you top 8 the Battle Hardened, Julian? That's awesome. Congratulations. What were you playing? I'm going to get Dominate on my next thing. Not going to be attacking. I'm just going to be breaking. I believe we're going to give them 2 Frostbites here. One from the Frozen to Death, and then one from playing the Frozen to Death as an ice card. Copied Chris Iali homework and ran hot with it. Yeah, his deck is kind of crazy. Um, I don't know if you were here for the story time, but I played him in the calling. I beat him, but it was very, very close. There are a lot of yellow cards in our opponent's deck. I'm not sure what this is for. Outback CNC, Thunk, and Wallop. I want to play Channel and then play Felling, so we can block this with the Root Bound. I don't want to decompose because I need those Earth cards, so I'm willing to just take one here. Yeah, his new list was very aggro. I was playing Oldhim. If you're watching the stream, you might know that. Um, and I was expecting a Rune Chant stacking game plan into me, and he was aggro Duskblade, and I was not ready for it. He's playing for Golden Glare. This does not look like a Golden Glare. Unless it's in the sideboard. All right, so we're going to take a card from him for sure. And then attacking for 8, and we do get to keep the channel around. Going to block for 7 and maybe draw a card. He does draw a card, but we know that we're going to be getting a staunch right now. Hand's a little awkward. He's just passing. I think we can double pitch the Mangle and plow on. He didn't even Arsenal. Interesting. So then we can Tunic, pitch, attack for 8, Arsenal Staunch. I don't hate that. I feel like we're putting on more pressure than he is. Trounce, he's gonna win that. That's pretty good. He just passes. Hmm. Hmm. He heaved a Thunderquake. Our Staunch covers this pretty well next turn. I think we just Felling again. And then maybe keep the Sink Below in hand. So presumably he. Oh, he has 3 blues from the. Yeah, so presumably he kept a blue to be able to send 9 at us. So he takes a little bit here. I think we're just going to give double Sink Below and then Sledge with the last 2 cards. Well, that's not what I wanted. There we go. All right, Sledge for 6. We still get to keep the Staunch on Arsenal too, so that's pretty good. He's probably going to win like every clash into us. Yep, that's pretty good. So we know he has a Righteous Cleansing in hand. Old Man Estate. Hmm. That has 6 Might tokens. We can be really stupid. We can set up double channel next turn to try to disrupt him. Just finished catching up on the recap. Were we not worried about dodging the new? I wasn't because there was only like one of them playing the event, and I didn't think that they were a very good player. Um, I don't know. It just felt like they had never played that deck in the format before, so I just feel like if I paired into the one new, it would have been really easy. But I could be wrong. Okay, so he has 6 Might tokens for this turn. If I wanted to, I could play Channel, pitching this, giving him a Frostbite. And then I can activate Tunic, 2 floating, pitch the Pulse to play Imposing Visage and get another Channel. And he would have to pay 2 extra plus 1 Frostbite for anything that he did on his next turn. Is that good? Probably not. But what else is this hand doing? The other option is play Channel getting or play Visage, getting Channel from the deck, one float, pitch this to Sledge. That's probably the right call. So we want to pay 5. But I could also just Channel again right now. And I have the ice cards to pay for both of them. He would be taxed 3 on his first thing. Like, he'd still be able to play through that is the problem. Like, if this is a blue, then whatever he's swinging, like, if this is the card that he's attacking with, like, this pays for that card, and then this pays for the tax. So I think we just have to swing Sledge. He just takes it. All right, let's see what he can do. Getting +6. Righteous Cleansing for 16. I could just play Channel and then Sledge to give him the Frostbite, but then I think I still have a card left over in hand from that. And with his one floating, he would still be able to play the card that he wanted to play. We are going to need our Tunic. We're going to block with a Mangle. And then we're going to go big mode on the Staunch. And then we're just going to set up the Oakenhold and Arsenal and pass back. Drew the Natty Oakenhold. So we could potentially back-to-back Oakenhold here. This could be a pummel. Hmm. Do we care if it's a pummel, though? I Oh, this might be the stack. Yeah. Yeah, this should be my stack. So I have Earth cards coming after this. The next card I think is a Plow Under. We could check. No, because it's really bad if it's not, right? If I fucked it up. We'll just pass. No pummel. Okay. So we're gonna go Oaken, Fused. We'll put this Oaken in Arsenal, and then yeah, this should be my stack, so we should be drawing into Plow Under, and then 2 ice cards afterwards. So we should be getting Plow ice card. There's a sink first. Okay. Um, no, because one of the blues that I pitched, I think, was a Winter's Bite. So I think that there's a Winter's Bite coming up next year. At least I'm pretty sure. This is a sick pitch stack, though. It's almost like I planned this. Maybe I'm just subconsciously a good player. Yes, this is what I remember. Maybe I got a couple cards mixed up. No, I think you were right. I think that this was closer to the Oakenold when I was putting it down in my head. Um, I didn't realize there were so many cards in between. I think that means we also have a pummel coming up, if I remember correctly as well. Oh, wait, no, we messed up the stack, right? Because we played the Imposing Visage. Yeah, our stack got ruined. We just happened to draw a lot of those cards in the order that we almost stacked them. Let's go Imposing Visage for 3. We're gonna crumble his gauntlets and then CNC. Yeah, we messed up the pitch deck. I need to remember to stop focusing on my pitch stacks when I shuffle because it doesn't do me any good then. Your next attack gains dominate. Okay. So I think we just have the kill here. We're gonna play the Channel Mount Eisen. So I think we have the kill multiple ways. We're gonna give him a frostbite, and if he can't clear this on his turn or on our turn, he's gonna die. Um, we're activating gloves, but our CNC also has dominate. So if he can't block this out, he's just dead. The most I think he can block is going to be like a test of strength and gloves, and that's only for 5. Oh, he still has the Aura Mages. That's right. Okay. So then he should be dead to the frostbite. And that's game. Nice. Well, I think that deck is kind of cool. I know Jarl's not great, but like that felt pretty good, at least into another Guardian. Let's find another. Why do we get logged out? I don't want you guys looking at my password. I don't need anyone doxing me. Hold up. And log back in. All right. Let's see what we can find. Oh my god, a Kano. I guess we go first. We probably want Sledge. And then we don't want the D-Reacts. So we'll bring in the Frostfangs. I don't expect this to go well for us. But I guess we'll find out. Just destroy Stormstriders. If only it were that easy. Um, do I just send 7 here and then pummel him? Just to force through some damage? If I play the pummel without fusing it, he sees that coming, right? I've heard this card's insane, but I haven't actually seen it in action yet. There's the start of the pitch stack. I think we're okay with taking one here. There's not going to be anything after it. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing, Wyatt, but I haven't actually seen anybody floodgate anybody. Like it makes sense. Like if you can like wildfire before this, like you're just gonna draw a bunch of cards, and then if you find another one, you do it again. I just haven't seen anyone go off with it yet. Okay. We're gonna have a hard time getting our decomposes going in this match. Because we're not gonna be playing a lot of our earth cards. We're gonna be pitching them. That's pretty good. Um 2 days after Rosetta came out, I got triple floodgated and I blamed Ronan. I think we're gonna on our turn we're gonna want to play the Oakenolds. So this is our fuse, this is our pitch. But then what are we putting in Arsenal? Like we don't have Crown to fall back on, and both of these are bad in Arsenal against Kano. So like I guess we can Arsenal. We're not gonna have the Earth card, so I guess we're arsenaling the Frostfang. So we can only afford to AB one with the Crown. That's pretty bad. I don't know. I feel like Ronan doesn't play these cards. This doesn't seem like Ronin tech. So use the pulse for both, hide the Frostfang from him, try to line this up with like a pummel. Yeah, these are going to be really hard to turn on this game. Um, Maybe we need to have a better boot slot for the AB matchups. That's what I'm saying, man. Like this isn't Ronin tech. That's Ronin tech. At least we get to get the pulse out of our hand. The sad thing is we don't have like the zealous buildings and stuff that we usually use to put pressure on wizards. We have one pitch floating, so we'll AB1 this, take one. He used his whole hand because he's about to lose it anyways, so he takes 6 here. Oh, unfortunate. This is really bad. I guess we do this and try to set up another Frostfang in Arsenal. Yeah, I think this list is just going to be soft to wizards. But that's like every Guardian deck. The only ones that like had a sliver of a chance were like the old school Bravo and like Oldhim decks where all of your blues were like 6 or more attacks. Because that let you run cards like Zealous Beltings, E-Strikes, and then you just had to be like as aggro as possible against them. Um, but even then, like it was bad. Like that wasn't a good matchup. It was just every once in a while you could, squeak out a win. Um, this is definitely worse. This is going to feel a lot worse. And he's setting up a pitch stack against us too. Let's go Icequake. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Icequake. Frostwing. Might need to get some more water after this game. Okay, we get the whole hand from him. Set up a third Frostfang in Arsenal. Maybe we can find a pummel to go with it. Negative. We can play imposing. There's no way we just die here, right? Never happens. Put a counter on his Storm Striders. Activate Tunic. Mangle. So we're tapped out. We have no cards in hand, no resources floating, but we are threatening to blow up his Storm Striders pretty much for the rest of the game. If we draw into the Frozen to Death, we get them for free. I feel like even if we snipe the Storm Striders, we can still just easily lose this game. We did draw the Frozen to Death, but we do not have the cards to play it. So we have the Oakenold, so we can Oaken him, or we can play the Earthlore Surge, pitching the Winter's Bite, pitch the Oakenold to play Frostfang for 10 Dominate, set up the Frozen to Death in Arsenal to try to snipe them on probably the next turn. If we Oakenold now, we're stuck with these cards in hand. I think we need to make use out of the Dominate while we have it, because this is going to get Dominate when we fuse it no matter what. So we're going to play the Earthlore Surge. And then we're going to Frostbite. 10 is 10 is a big number. And then with Dominate, if he's giving me a card, he's still taking 7. Nice to see that we have 23 people watching right now. That's pretty cool. If you guys are liking the stream, it'd be a big help if you guys would hit the like button because it definitely helps get the stream and the channel out to more people. So I'd appreciate it if you do that. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, maybe. I don't stream a lot compared to other people. Usually just once a week. I'm gonna try to do some sporadic ones on weekends, just whenever I have time. What did we see here? Oh, he popped the clarity potion. Let's see a sonic boom here. He's activating Kano. Found a scalding rain. And this comes in for 4. 5 because of the amp. I think we're not gonna block anything here. I'd like to keep the frozen to death for the arsenal if I can. Sonic boom. So he shouldn't know the top card of his arsenal because I think the clarity potion would have seen this and the what's it called? Scalding rain. Coming in for 4. I think we're just gonna take this. Hidden Aether Flare. So we take 1 here. Yeah, that's fine. And then he takes 10. And we drew the cards to be able to pull off the Frozen to Death. All right, so we're going to take his boots from him. We're going to set up the plow and arsenal. And then if he doesn't go crazy with banishes, we'll probably try to gain 2 life off of the fruits, but these might just end up being pitched. He's just going to use Storm Striders. I mean, it makes sense. He's losing them anyways. So if he has like a blazing or something in hand, like now's the time to do it. Hey, Adam, how's it going? It was good seeing you in Chicago too, man. Um, did you get anything cool from the history of draft? The alpha? Like we're gonna see the wildfire come through right now. Crucible. You're sweating opening those packs. I could only imagine, dude. It's crazy that 2 tunics were opened. I think the L's were 2 tunics and a scab skins. Bunch of pink strip cards, yeah. Lessons. Lessons is gonna find him his blazing. We've taken 3. We're gonna take 4. I don't think this is enough. Out of the equivalent of like 3 cases, pretty nuts to hit 2 tunics. Yeah, I thought there would be more variety in the L's. How much is this coming in for? We took 3, 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're just gonna gain 2 here. Another fruits is pretty good. So now I think we're gonna sledge. Try to set up the command and conquer in Arsenal, and then maybe gain 2 depending on what all they try to do here. I think it should be pretty safe to gain 2 if they're giving me 2 cards to block the sledge. Fruits is such a good card, man. This is probably like the best earth blue in like any of the decks now. Like Autumn's Touch, it was good because it was a 3 block. This attacks for the same amount, it costs the same amount, but it has the ability to just gain you 2 life. Like this card is nuts. We found an Earthlore Surge. We might be able to go like Earthlore CNC. Yeah, EA Fruits is going to be awesome. All right, how can we play this? We want to. I think we want to be able to leave some amount of pitch floating for an arsenal card, or to be able to pay into AB if needed. So I think the best bet is going to be playing Earthlore, 1 floating, pitch to CNC for 11. That leaves us with the Plow Under in hand to put in Arsenal. Or if they try to do something in response, we have some amount of pitch between the Tunic and the Plow. We technically do have enough to go Earthlore, pitching Plow Under, Tunic Mangle, but then we leave ourselves completely open, and I don't like the idea of that. I think it wouldn't be too hard for them to kill us off the top of their deck if we did that. And 11's a lot. It's going to pull a good amount of cards from their hand. Like them at 6, now our sledges are lethal. Right, they play a Clarity Potion. I think we have enough Earth cards. The awkward part is the first one that we play is going to be bad. Felling is the least bad. Like this coming in for 2 is really bad. This coming in for 4 is fine. So let's take a card from them, and then we'll Felling to take another card from them. And then we're going to overpitch because that'll leave us with the 1 floating plus Tunic to at least to be a little bit defensive if we need to. Am I the only one that likes to try to put like the same cards in Banish? Like try to get your like full house of cards? I like specifically look for them in the window. All right, there's the pummel. That's pretty good. It's coming in for 6. I think I like the idea of going Tunic, pitch the Oaken and the Tunic to this. Take 4. Because then when we go Plow under Pummel, 1, it will turn on our Well Grounded, and then 2, we'll have the pitch. We'll have 2 pitch floating after we do both of these. I don't really want to get rid of one of the blues from my hand right now. Yeah, I think it's important to turn on the Well Grounded if he lets us. He's not getting rid of a card, so like maybe he lets us, but he might also realize that, oh, it's a close one. Okay. Yeah, we see him responding to the decompose, which is definitely the smart call. Found a lesson. Good news is there's no tomes in his deck. We don't need to worry about those. Sounds good, Adam. Eternal Inferno. Deal 4 damage to any target. If this deals more than 4 damage, banish it. You may play it this turn. I don't think that that second line would let him play it on my turn, though. Because when he played it, he would still be playing it as an instant. So this is just another 1 for 4, essentially. I really want to pummel this, but I think I just need to pitch into it. Because if I decide to take it, I go to 1. So anything that he does that deals 3 or more damage would just kill me. But this does require both of his cards now. And then we get to set up the pummel and arsenal. Our well grounded is turned on. So I feel like we're in a good position. We just need to not die. If we draw enough blues, the next turn we can swing Sledge and then try to pummel it. Oh, we need to update our wins. We beat that Victor. Okay, we drew blues. I want to play the Icequake. I really want to play the Icequake. I don't think I should, though. This would give him a Frostbite, and then we would swing for 9. We would have 1 floating afterwards. Give me 2 cards and then die to pummel. If he gives me the whole hand, I guess it would be pretty bad here. He might. Waiting on me. He's thinking. Either that or he's lagging and doesn't realize it. He's probably thinking about whether or not he gives me the whole hand, and this is pretty good from him. Protects him from pummel, and it's actually a little awkward for me because now I have these 2 reds left in my hand. The 2 blues, still pretty good though. Oh, that makes sense. He had a no block in his hand, so he had to give us the tunic there. Okay, so this time when we swing sledge, I think I'm gonna overpitch the mangle. That way, if he gives us the whole hand again, um, it doesn't get stuck in our hand. But now we're gonna have 3 resources floating with the tunic. So nobody's stream sniping me, man. I'm not that big. So this turn, I actually think I am going to play the Icequake with the Mangle. 2 cards, Sledge, 2 floating. That leaves us the Tunic with for 3 resources and well-grounded to try to play around. If we see him put down too many cards, the Pummel does get us over guaranteed. And he also gets a Frostbite. Okay, so he's going to respond to this. Oh, he found his Will of Arcana again. This card's so good. Ooh, Energy Potion is not really what he's wanting to find off the top. Like, it's okay because he goes down a resource, essentially. He gets 2 back off of the 3 that he spent. Wildfire, pretty good. But we're just going to be able to cover this. Potion, potion. Activate Kano. Blue Floodgates. Do we need to grab our resource now? I don't think so. Okay, so if I well grounded right now, he paid into nodes. If I well grounded right now, he plays Floodgate and it gets buffed by 2. So I would be able to AB2 and prevent 1. I take no damage off of Floodgate. This is coming in for 7 right now. Holy shit. This is lethal, yeah. I think I just lose. Because I'm going to prevent 4 total and I still take 3. Dang, that's rough. We were close. So he had a blue left in hand. If we had one more life, I think we still die, right? Because we would have taken 2 down to 1. This gets buffed by 2 plus Metacarpus is another. It'd be coming in for 4. We can only prevent 2. We're at 1. We die. So even being 2 more life up, we still die. We would have had to have been at 6 to live through that turn. That's unfortunate. But I mean, the game was closer than I expected it to be, so that was pretty nice. I'm gonna take a quick 90-second break. I'm just gonna refill my water and then I will be right back. I will see you guys in a second. All right, we're back. I'm gonna jump right back into it, get some more games going. So far, the list has felt fine. I don't really feel like there's anything that I'm immediately wanting to change. Like, I guess these glacials are maybe like the only weird inclusion. Um, I don't know what I would want them to be though. Found a Bolton. We go second against Bolton. And then I think we want our aggro package. I don't really know what to take out. Probably take out the Earthlore Surges. And then is something like Mangle even good into them? Can you ever cut Mangle as Jarl? I'm gonna try it. Sand seems fine. Um, let's block with a crumble to get an early earth card in the grave. We'll gain two. Hmm. Oh, he had a spirit too. That's really good. I guess we just attack with Summit. It was pointed out to me this weekend that Summit only gives the frostbite in exposed zones, and I realized how not exciting the card is. When you compare it to something like Winter's Will, where like they just got it. V charging, get the quicken. Go block block. Raiden. If he has the Lumina, the stalagmite doesn't really do anything here, right? The one floating pays for the frostbite to Lumina, and then he gets to attack again. Hmm. Yeah, you can tell that they played it a little safe. I mean, I think the weapon is super cool. Like the idea of, two-handing it versus one-handing it, and then that changing throughout the game. Um, I think it's super flavorful. I like it a lot, but it could be a little stronger. The deck has been treating me well. Thank you, Wally. This is going to be our Tunic Pummel turn. We can block with the Eisen, take one, and then we'll be able to set up an Oakenold in Arsenal. Does anybody have any interesting holiday plans coming up? I was considering doing a stream on. We did charge. I was considering doing a stream on the 24th, maybe, like in the morning, because I'm off that day. And I'm planning to go see my parents. Hmm. Usually for like dinner. So my morning's pretty open. Wish we had an ice card. I guess we can get our first decompose off and have it be awful. Get some more earth cards in the grave. Ooh, he luminated here. That's pretty good. I think I just take it. Oh, but then the plow under is bad. You're just working? That sucks, man. Yeah, I know not everyone gets the 24th off. All right, we found felling. I think we had to block with all three of our plow unders that turn. That felt pretty bad. This only affects weapon attacks. All right, I think we're gonna throw the oak in here and then set up one of these two in arsenal. Probably the felling, I would think. He has the soul shield. This is fine. If we don't have to block anything, we can go Icequake, pitching, Frostfang, felling. This has go again. So I think we block with the Stalagmite here to prevent the Duskblade attack. All right. He takes one, gets a Frostbite. If we play channel, one float, pitch, play felling, we could keep the channel around, or we play felling, bottom, gain life, arsenal. Seems good for us. Ooh, Cataclysm's good. Our turn is going to be Icequake, Frostfang. Nothing of theirs has counters on it, so we're not breaking anything. Do we just block with the pulse? They've been pretty careful not to block with their equipment against us, which is a heads up play from them. Um, this breakpoint though, we could potentially see one of the two block equipment pieces come down. Yep. So, just kidding. Okay, blocking with Warband. Yeah, if we can just open up one slot, our taxes get a lot better. E-Strike, choosing buff power. I think we're gonna Frozen to Death their Warband, and then Arsenal the Icequake that we used to fuse with. And now we get to pair the Icequake with our good cards. Via the Vanguard for 5. We're gonna block 5. Gives go again. Raiden for 6. Oof. If this is a Lumina, this is a really good turn for him. 14 damage, and then he potentially gains 2 life back. I don't think I can play around it though. Just go again. Bolting Blade, that's also really good. That's more damage. I think we just take it though. Yeah, like none of our blocks would be efficient. Give them a Frostbite. And then if this hits, they get another Frostbite and they have to discard a card. So like to cover this, they'd have to give us 2 cards and a 2 block. And then with the Frostbite, if they have like a 0 cost charge card, um, they would have to pitch the card that they want to charge, which means that there is no charge, so the Bolton's not turned on. So then if they don't want to give us the equipment piece, they have to block with 3 cards, and then maybe they're just setting up an arsenal, which sets up our CNC. Okay, so he's gonna have to get rid of a card, and then he gets another Frostbite. Cataclysm paying for both. With the CNC in hand, this could be a time that we block with Crown. Let's go Crown, Rootbound. We're going to get rid of the Arsenal one. So we only take 1 here. Express Lightning. There is no charge. So we can just give them a card and take another 1. So the CNC doesn't actually threaten anything now. Do we just swing the Summit? I think so. What's up, Adam? Is that bro about my record? Oh, yeah. Yeah, bad financial decisions were made, man. The worst thing is like those didn't even win me, like the event, right? Right here. Yeah, we did it. Just got to get one more. I was able to pick them up for like 700 each, though. Like, I feel like it was a good deal. I think they fluctuate between like seven and like eight something. All right, he kept a lot of cards in hand, which is not good for us. We very well could be dead. Express Lightning for 4. We can actually deny him the go again. Unless he has a beacon. Yep, he gets Lumina. So we take 1. This hasn't been Lumina yet, right? It's getting +1 off the Quicken. So we're gonna block here. He's gonna play Lumina. We are gonna well ground it. Because of Spirit, he has an action point, so he doesn't need to give it go again. I think I do I take this? Hmm. I go to 3, but then I get to swing back with Felling. If I block with the Felling, I take 2, I fruits back up, so it's basically the same as just blocking with both. Oh, sounds good, Adam. We'll see you in a bit. Uh, I need to let my opponent know I'm thinking. What do you guys think is the right play? I think I'm supposed to Felling. Oh, I had a funny judge call come up from the weekend. In one of my Starvo games, he attacked with like a crippling crush or like I think it was a Starstruck or something that was fused. Um, and I blocked with my gauntlets for the first time to prevent the crush effect. And immediately after blocking with the gauntlets, I put them into my graveyard. And then we went to my turn and I played a Felling and I decomposed the gauntlets. Um, I like to put my cards in these like oversized sleeves. So like there's a like the actual sleeve that they're in is in this bigger one. And it has like a little like frosty type design on them. Um, and because of that, when these go to the graveyard, they're bigger than the regular sleeves because of the oversleeves. So I put the gloves in the graveyard when I shouldn't have, and then I immediately catch it after I decompose from the Felling. So I call the judge and I'm just like, hey, like I accidentally decomposed these. Like these should have gone back to my arm slot after I finished blocking with them. I have like a million other earth cards in my graveyard. Um, I could just decompose a different card. Like these weren't supposed to be in the graveyard. And the judge asks me like, "Oh, like, is there a reason that you chose specifically to decompose this card?" And I was just like, "Well, because they're in a bigger sleeve, like it's kind of annoying when they're in the graveyard. So they're usually the first cards that I decompose, just because like I don't want to have to deal with it." And the judge thought that was really funny, and he started laughing. Um, and he's just like, "Yeah, you can put your cards back, decompose a different Earth card," and like I think it gave me like a warning, which makes sense. But I just thought that was really funny that because of my oversleeves, he got a kick out of that. If we had one more blue, this would be awesome. Light the way. If this hits, when this hits, if a yellow card was charged this way, it gets go again. So I give him two cards. He gives it go again. He goes Raiden. Ugh, so bad. I needed another blue. Do I need to make him use the soul? Is it worth one life point? Probably not. Like he's gonna get go again no matter what. Raiden. Block again. Yeah, this is just that spot that Bolton gets you down to. I probably should, Leroy. I have them in the list. I was just having trouble figuring out what the correct card to cut was. Mm. Oh, it's because I blocked the Summer's Fall. Ugh. I guess it's like this. Yeah, I haven't really played this deck a lot. I haven't played it at all, really. All right. Good games to the opponent. Good game. So it's not really like second nature for me what my sideboarding should look like yet. So I think I cut the Mangles and I cut the Earthlore Surges, and we brought in these. Brought in the Frostfangs and the Arctics. So then, like, I have the Sinks, but I wasn't really sure where else to take from. I like the Ice Quakes because once you break a piece of equipment, they get a frostbite, and then it turns on your effects like Command and Conquer and the Frostfangs that we bring in. I feel like you need the Fellings, you need the Okins, you need the Pummels, you want the Root Bounds. I mean, like, is Plow good? I feel like Plow's good. How many blues are running? 34. So, like, maybe we're supposed to go down to 31 and then bring in the sinks. We can cut something like Winter's Grasp, maybe, because this is a card that always turns on their effects. Um, that could be it. Maybe we're supposed to cut some number of blue attacks for the sink blows. Was that you, Wyatt? You're supposed to be studying. Ooh, Ira. I think Ira bodies Yarl. We'll go first. I don't necessarily know if I want the anti-aggro package. Blizzard is not in this version of the deck. Um, Maybe it should be. Like maybe that's where these are supposed to turn into. But no, it's not in the deck currently. Yeah, we can get rid of the Earth Lords. We'll run it at 61 and see how that feels. Yeah, maybe we're supposed to cut the glacials for blizzards. He's running Lynx and Vest of the First Fist. That's interesting. Yeah, that triple plow underhand was not great for us. Um, we can just gain two, and then Arsenal. Actually, we're gonna gain two. Pitch these away. Arsenal to Icequake. How do we block Ira? If this is just like the traditional D-React Kadachi 1 for 5 list, can be kind of annoying. We're gonna take the first one. Did I mean to do that? That is not a zero cost card. The funny thing is there are so many zero cost cards that they could play instead. They're pitching a red Soulbeat Strike. I mean, I think both are good into aggro decks, Wyatt. Um, like Blizzard can just be a blue in the deck, I guess. I think we're gonna block with this Icequake from hand, and then we can play this Icequake from Arsenal, play CNC, Arsenal to pummel. I guess we didn't technically need to block there. I'm so used to playing around Mask of Momentum, breaking their chain links. Flying kick for 5. I think we're okay with that. The links is interesting. I wonder what they're trying to get with this. It'd probably just be like assault the wound, right? Maybe a tenacity. So we're gonna play the Icequake from Arsenal, and then attack with the CNC for 9. Oh, there is one more cool thing that I picked up this weekend. There was a vendor that was selling these, and I've seen them online, and I've wanted to get them for a while. Um, I think it's, I think the name of the person that makes them is like Terry Ty or like Ty Cards or something. But I got the like equipment dice. I got both of those. It comes with like a tunic dice that has like go again, dominate, and overpower on it. And then there's the one for the resources and the attacks. It's like $30 for the set. So yeah, you get your resources counting up to six, and then you have a 1 through 6 dice, and then a 7 through 12 dice. So those were super cool. Definitely worth the investment in my mind. Okay, so we sniped his arsenal. We gave him a frostbite. We're gonna arsenal our pummel. How many Boltons have you gone against as Jarl so far? I'm still trying to gauge the matchup. Um, I'm 1-2 right now tonight total. I have played 3 games of Jarl. I have been focusing on Oldhim and LL pretty much since the deck, this Jarl deck got announced, because that's the time that I decided to play in the calling. Yeah, I got a set of them, James. I was using them in the calling. I'm surprised you didn't notice. I was using them for like everything. Plowonder is the one card that's like super awkward with Pummel. Another flying kick. I think we're just going to give him both of the Earth cards here and then attack with the Summit. Yeah, Wyatt, just like I was just trying to focus on the calling as much as possible. So I'm excited that I get to start playing it now. So like weekly streams are probably going to be mainly Jarl, and then I might throw in Verdance here and there just because I also enjoy that deck. Um, but yeah, I haven't really had the time to devote to touching the deck at all. And then for like in-person events, I didn't want to have to take apart the Living Legend Oldhim deck to put together a Jarl deck. So like every CC event that I've played since the deck has released has been something that is not an Earth Ice deck. I think for the Battle Brothers Win a Box, I was playing Enigma just because it shared like nothing. Yeah, Riku, I think they're super cool. I think it was a really good investment. I only have 6 here. It comes with 4 of the equipment ones. But for Oldhim, I only actually had like 2 pieces of equipment that got counters. So the 6 fit in the deck box that I brought really well. Once I switch back over to my academic, all of them will probably fit. I didn't want to have to bring like a really big, bulky deck box though, so I just bought this tiny one that has like a small spot for tokens and stuff. We're gonna take one. Fusco, I'm super excited for not having to care about the next set at all because it means I just like get to not spend any money on it. I get to buy my couple of expansion slot cards and nothing else. But I'm happy for everybody that likes the heroes. Um, I know there's a lot of 5 players that have been wanting support, so hopefully there's some amount of overlap and he gains some new tools. If we don't have to block, we could potentially look to go like channel into Mangle. She does remind me of Aurelia. Yeah, that's a good point. What are these blue non-zero cards, man? I kind of want to just take the 5 and then go channel Mangle. We're being a little bit greedy with our life total, but I think it's probably okay. Setting up the channel hurts them a lot. It makes all of their Kodachis assassin daggers, essentially. Does anybody play Warhammer by chance? I'm not sure how much of an overlap there is between tabletop gaming and card games. I have a knight that I painted back here. What are we waiting for? Is it on you? Like, what's going on? Oh, you used to, Leroy? They're doing a thing right now. What just happened? He just broke mask to find head jab when he didn't have go again on a flying kick. What is happening? We're just rolling with that? Okay, cool. Have a frostbite. I think it's super fun. It is expensive though. There's another game that we're playing called Infinity, and that one's a lot more affordable. You can buy a box of like an army, um, and it's like $100, and you get everything that you need to play essentially. And then you can, upgrade, you know, $30 to $80 depending on how much you want to spend. Wyatt, I will do what I want to. Look at that. He's taking eight. We're winning now. If this is their first game, or even if they're just like newer and learning the deck, that's fine. Somebody has to teach them the ways. Heroescape is very cool. My buddy Sage plays it. He's on the team. He pops in chat every once in a while. Um, I like it a lot. I just feel like I just can't pick up another game. Even though Sage owns everything, like he bought the starter box for it, and if I wanted to play, I could probably use his stuff, and he wouldn't mind at all. Like I just can't. It's too much. I have my black Templars over here that I've been working on. I'm probably gonna try to paint some during the holiday break, but I was painting up some Terminators. Yeah, I like Warhammer. I think it's super cool. I probably wouldn't be playing it if I didn't work part time at a hobby shop, though, because the discount would not have gone as far. Coming in for two, I think we're just going to give them a frostbite and see how much that affects them. Knee thrust is going to cost them two. I don't know if James is still in the chat, but James used to play One Piece. Razor Reflex is not enough. They will need to pay one more. So I think the Stalagmite actually did end their turn there, which is what I was hoping for it to do. Kadachi, you're gonna have to pay three for that. One, two, three. So their turn is just over. I got this Terminator captain that I painted. But yeah, the reason I brought it up is because they're doing a thing right now where it's like an advent calendar, and each day, uh, somebody gets like a new set of rules to play with. And the two armies that I play, Black Templars and Space Wolves, we've gone through 18 days so far. There's only five left, and we know what tomorrow is, and it's not Black Templars or Space Wolves. So the two armies that I play are literally going to be in the last like 4 days. So I've been sitting here waiting so patiently, but I have not gotten my rules yet. That was a good stalagmite block from us. A bit of a soul read, but it paid off. Yeah, we tried it with you. I think we played a couple games. Like it was fine. It reminded me a lot of Cardfight Vanguard, which was a game that I used to enjoy, but I don't know. One Piece just like it was missing something. Like I actually had a lot of fun playing Vanguard back in the day. One Piece just like there was something that wasn't there that had the magic that Vanguard did. All right, we get to keep our channel around, which is pretty good. Haven't really found a good pummel target yet. This has been sitting here for a while. Fusco, the cards look so bad. They posted the Marvel ones, right? The ones that like are nicer and maybe like harder to get. Like those looked good. I didn't mind those, but yeah, the base cards, they look terrible. We're gonna block with our stalagmite here because it could just potentially end his turn again, and then it will turn on our summit. So it will start swinging for 6. Oh, it's a box set. Yeah, like those looked good. I'd be down for those. Do we have enough to decompose? We do. We're gonna do that so that the next effect is turned on. Knee thrust for 3. We're gonna give him the sink below here. Otherwise, we're IPing ourselves. I agree, Leroy. Like I like Flesh and Blood a lot, and even though there's some times where my heroes like aren't good, like it's been a bit of a struggle since Oldhim left, honestly. And I know that was a while ago, but like I still feel like I haven't really found like my next hero. I was hoping Yarl was going to be it, but I feel like he's missing a few things. But like even with all of that, I still think Flesh and Blood is like such a good game. I love it a lot. And I like the whole design of everything that they made as far as like the pitching cards, the losing armor, things like that. Like it really feels like almost grindy. Like it feels like you're in a fight with somebody. And I like that a lot. Um there is one other card game that I found so far that I actually had a lot of fun with. It's called Altered TCG. And I think I like it because it plays nothing like Flesh and Blood does. It almost plays kind of like a board game. Um, and I've been having a lot of fun with that one. And it's a lot more casual too. So like even though I like Flesh and Blood, like as much as I like Flesh and Blood, it can be a pretty sweaty game. I think it can be hard for casual people to get into because I think the game by nature is competitive. Um, Altered has a really, really nice casual feel to it. If our opponent is new, they're learning about Command and Conquer Pummel right now. We will teach them. So yeah, check that one out if you guys haven't heard of it. Altered TCG is super fun. I like it as just a casual thing. We play on Tuesdays at my store, so like on our non-armory days, it's fun to just go over and have some fun. With the Mangle, I think it would be cool to get the effect on. So what if we went Imposing Visage, Finding Channel, play Crumble, and then set up our Mangle for the next turn? That might be kind of cool. Twin Twisters. Okay, we're gonna block this. Instead, we're gonna pitch to the Gauntlets to get both modes on the Mangle. Yeah, Cusco, I think that's what we're gonna do here. And then we get to set this up in Arsenal for potentially next turn. This art reminds me a lot of um, the Stormlight Archives, if anyone reads that. Totally looks like a dude in shard plate, and then there's a face in the background that looks like the Stormfather. Their deck looks super budget, so they probably aren't a seasoned player. Yeah, I mean that's fine though. Like maybe their deck that they're playing on Talishar is like what they own in real life. Like that would be fine. Non-meta decks are more viable up to like ProQuest or RTN levels. Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna take a lot of this. We're gonna play the Imposing Visage. Maybe find that Crumble and then go Felling. Actually, I shouldn't have decomposed there because now I'm only gonna have one Earth. So maybe we'll just gain two and then Felling. We don't really need the Crumble. Again, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please hit the like button. Just helps get the channel out to other people. Looks like our opponent just conceded. Um, yeah, they could have been new. They could be learning. But we still take those wins. So we're going to take that up. Good games to the opponent. It's only been about 2.5 hours. We can keep going. I don't really want to play a new though. That sounds awful. I'm not a huge fan of New. She's kind of annoying. We'll see what we get. Always take those Wyatt. Especially if it's like round one of an RTN. No mercy. If they're new to the game, if they've only been playing for like a month and they joined an RTN, gotta teach them. Yeah, I think we should probably add the blizzards in place of these. And then I don't really think there's anything else that I want to be changing. I haven't been super impressed by the looks of the block card against a Viscerai. We probably want to go first because if we let them go first, they're just going to set up Rune Chance. I think we'll take the headpiece as our AB. Is Viscerai Rune Chance stacking or are they more aggro right now? I feel like they're aggro, right? So we might want these. Um, Man, it's the sideboarding that's always so weird. Uh, just gonna let them know that I'm thinking. Let me check out the winner's bites. Do I want these sync blows? Let's try it like this. I don't know if this is correct or not. It was decent. That's a good turn one. Set up a channel, put something on their grasps. We have another one in Arsenal to put something on the spellbounds later. Depending on what they do here, we could block with these three and then play an Arctic. They're probably just going to make Rune Chance through the tax. Discard an attack, I would imagine. Find like a Read the Runes. They're probably need to discard the. Yeah, they're probably going to discard the Ninth Blade. Yep. Yep, that's pretty good for them. Um, there's no way for me to get two ice cards, so the channel is going to go away. If I imposing for 0, I wouldn't have enough to play the CNC. Um, I could imposing for another channel. Hmm. It's not great though. We'll keep the Arctic in hand. If they go on the offense next turn, we can block with 3 cards, play the Arctic. We sniped a Swarming. That's pretty good. Mordred. We're going to use our Summer's Fall to pay for these Rune Chants. It essentially turns it into a 3 block. Block here. We'll take the Rune Chants. Block here. They Reaping Blade us. They're not going to be able to swing Reaping Blade, so we'll just take the one. Wyatt, the Earthlore Surge, I think, is also there for a little bit more play into Enigma. Being able to go tall into them and then threatening like a pummel on something is the idea. But also just being able to like off of Tunic play one of the 2-cost cards after it. So like CNC for 11 or like Plow Under for 11. I think that's what we're looking to do. We have our Frozen to Death. Unfortunately, we have this Crumble in our arsenal, which is now being a bit awkward. So I think we go block, block. We're going to play out the Crumble. We're going to hit their boots. We're going to Arsenal the Frozen to Death. Yeah, I mean, she won't be around forever, though, so. Okay, so now we could potentially look to block with both of these and then play Frozen to Death next turn. Play the one in Arsenal, pitching this, fusing with this, and then Arsenaling Frozen to Death. And then we can pop their other piece too. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see if we can slow them down a little bit. Playing Sonata for 0. Okay. I think we're gonna get rid of their creepers first, because that definitely has the most chance of shenanigans happening. We're taking a lot of damage. I feel like this is the problem with Jarl, is a lot of his kit is designed around breaking your opponent's equipment, and none of it has go again. So you have to take a lot of damage to be able to keep cards to set up the possibility of breaking your opponent's equipment. And all the while, your opponent just gets to keep doing their game plan while you're doing that. And then, like, once it's broken, then you can start doing things. But, like, you've been taking damage this whole time trying to do it. Like, it just doesn't seem good enough. Okay, so they took a setup turn of their own. So, like, I can do it again. Oldham's ran some. Um, I feel like they started getting cut towards the end, if I remember correctly. So we can Tunic, Pitch Plow, Frozen to Death again, give them 2 Frostbites, fusing here, and then gain 2 life. So then it's like we're just giving them an opportunity to keep doing a thing. I think we have to, though. Maybe we keep this in hand for the Oakenold. I guess it wouldn't have mattered. We wouldn't have known that, though. We can only afford to give up one card here. I agree, Cusco. I think that like some of the disruption is missing, but also I don't feel like Flesh and Blood plays like other TCGs. Like in other TCGs, most oh my God. Well, that's gross. I was saying in other TCGs, most decks like you have to ramp up. You don't just get to skip origins. You don't just get to do your thing like right away. And with control decks, like it lets you have the breathing room to ramp up. But in Flesh and Blood, like the aggro decks, they just get to go right out of the gate. So it doesn't feel like it does when you're playing control decks in another card game. We're at 34 and he's or sorry, we're at 14 and he's at 34 right now. That feels pretty bad. How's it going, aggro? How you doing? But yeah, like maybe now is our turning point. Um, Not like this though. We're gonna play a channel, so that'll give him a frostbite, and then we're gonna play Icequake Frostfangs. Oh, we're just Yarlin. Um, I gave a recap of my weekend at the beginning of the stream if you want to check that out. I will show you the best part though. Did a bit of show and tell. I showed off a lot of cards that we picked up this weekend, but check these out. Aren't these awesome? Yeah, for sure, Cusco. Like I'm not saying that it's impossible. But I think that it just doesn't translate one to one, and like sometimes it's like really, really bad, right? Um, but yeah, definitely like it's doable. Um, so Icequake, it's like I like the card, but I feel like I always get it too early. Like I want Icequake when they have broken equipment, and I feel like I always find it like before that happens. And I find the opportunities to play it before that happens. And with like just like general pitch curves and stuff, it never feels good to have to put that at the bottom for second cycle. So I don't know. Maybe it needs to go. I definitely wouldn't want to play blue. Like that just seems bad. And there's no room. Like you have so many blues already. Yeah, it's just been kind of mid. What are we doing here? Become the Arknight. Mordred, Deadwood, pass. It's a lot of rune chance. Don't really like decomposing Yarl. The Ed Knight list is really good as is. I haven't looked at Ed Knight's list. If you have a link, I'd definitely be down to check it out. I just kind of threw this together. This is my first take on the deck. I haven't really been able to focus any of my attention to Jarl because I was playing in the Calling Chicago. So all of my testing was that. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely open to looking at other decks. I just like the Decompose cards. I think they're fun. Decompose has felt mid in Jarl too. Maybe I'm just wrong. Okay, so we have plenty of pitch to stop some of this. There's 10 of them coming in, so we're looking at 13 damage. We do want to be presenting damage back to the opponent. So if we just use one card for AB, we take 7 down to 9. We can use the D react to block the Reaping Blade. On our turn, we can Winner's Bite them and then swing the weapon. I think that seems good. I don't like just swinging the weapon because it's an easy 2-card block for them, right? We're going to try it. We're going to skip all range hits. And then, yeah, we're going to give him the D react here. Give him that D. Stupid. Um, Play Winner's Bite. So they get a Frostbite and they get taxed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think that's super fair. Leaks, is that how you say it? This is our 5th game that we've played tonight, and this is like my 5th game on Yarl at all. And it has. Oh, we still needed to block the stalagmite. It has felt kind of hard to get to the 4. Um, it's been a little bit awkward for sure. We should have blocked with the stalagmite just to turn this on, I think. This turning point feels bad. Opponent says they're thinking. Have you been playing a lot of Jarl leaks? He's definitely a cool hero, though. He reminds me of a Death Knight from WoW. Like it even looks like he's getting ready to cast Icy Touch. Definitely have to check that out. I know Ed Knight does like playing Guardian, so he reminds me of the guy on Mangle. Dude, they look nothing alike. He looks more like the guy on Pulverize. Playing Succumb, drawn to draw a card. Two rune chants. Can we afford to take two rune chants? Oh yeah, leaks. YouTube's super weird about sending deck lists or sending links on their chat. Um, the link to our Discord is in the description. If you have Discord, you can join and post it there if you want. No obligations to stay if Discord isn't your thing. Let's start like this. Oh wait, Succumb. That's right. Sorry. I totally forgot about the Succumb. So we're gonna block with Stalagmite. I think we still do want to block with Stalagmite, but we need to give him something else. We'll give him the fruits here. Okay, so he's just gonna Arsenal. I'll tell you what though. That's really bad. I was about to say, felling late game when it's turned on is really good. We have not turned on felling at all. So that actually feels really bad. Deck link is in the Discord. Okay, I'll pull it up right now. Yeah, this felling card sucks. Oh, this hand sucks. Oh my god, we can't even deal with these rune chants. Are we just dead? I think we just lost the game. I definitely did that wrong. The command and conquer should have stayed in hand. We could live at one, but it's like I think drawing the all red hand there just lost us the game. All right, let's see. So they are playing Coordinate Peak. The first list that I theory crafted had Coordinate Peak. They're playing the Rootbound Trunks. There are a decent amount of auras that you can be playing. Yeah, that sucks. I feel like we were actually in a position to potentially win this game, and then we drew that hand. Unfortunate. I'm gonna pull up the deck list in the Discord right now. Okay, so this is the deck that Leaks sent us. I guess I think he said it was a Ed Knight list. I think you can switch Coronet and the new weapon with Providence and Titan's Fist. Well, Titan's Fist is going to depend on your blues, right? Like off the bat, it's looking kind of awkward. Like 2-0-0-0-1-2-0. So like Titan's Fist can be weird for sure. Command and Conquer, Mangle, Oakenold, Pummel. You got the standard blues. The blues that we chose mostly look the same. Insidious Chill's interesting. And then we got the Frost Fangs, the Glacials, the Ice Quakes, Sinks, Spinals, Staunches. Yeah, I mean, it's not like crazy different. Definitely they're not on the decomposes, but I feel like everything else is kind of close. I do like Arctic. Cannot do Redwood instead as you're focused on Earth. With heavy Earth blues might help with the decompose too. The problem is a lot of the other Earth cards are really bad. Um, they all block two, and like you don't really want to be playing them. Sideboard is most likely different. Yeah, this doesn't seem bad. I'm definitely willing to test this list. There's a couple things that I would probably change personally, but this seems like a good starting point. Yeah, Arctic is so good. I love that. Oh, you even have like a matchup breakdown too. I'm definitely down to test this. I think I'm gonna play probably just one more game on this list that I've been playing tonight. And then maybe starting next week I can uh maybe make a couple changes that are just like my personal preference and then go with something closer to this. But yeah, this will be my last game for the night. Katsu's not a real deck. I guess we can take the CC competitive. Someone joined it. I sent you the list I've been playing. All right, I'll check it out. Let's see. Are you cool if I pull it up on stream, Cusco? Against a Florian. I think against like every Runeblade, we want to go first. A generic player 99. I got an NPC, guys. Against Florian, I don't really know if we want to change anything. I don't think we want the sinks. I don't think we want the big reacts. They're not aggro, so we don't want the anti-aggro package. So I think we just run it as is. It's also super awkward when you see the frozen to death before the crumble. Like, it's not good. At least we can send a dominate attack here. All right, Malefic into E-Strike for 7. I think we probably just block. I think we're gonna give them both plows. We'll take one and then swing back with the summit. All right, so Cusco sent us his list as well. Equipment suite looks the same. Got the CNCs, Mangles, Okins, Pummels. Um, Everyone's on this Insidious chill, huh? The blue suite looks similar. Yeah, E-Strike was what I was thinking of. Like, it seemed like it would be a decent card in a list like this. I do like the Spinals too. All right, what do we draw? So we do have a Decompose. They are choosing buff power. We have a bit of a non-hand here. We can block with Pummel, Rootbound, and then just swing 7 with the Oaken. You know what Spinal's really cool with? Because you have the one pitch floating. This card. Spinal for 12, threatening a frostbite. That seems good. Oh, and you're on Ice Quake. Yeah, I like that. No Ice Quakes in this list. I made some personal changes, but it was a good starting point, as you said. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. Thank you for sending it over. I'm not like married to the decomposed package at all. So like if there's something else that works better, I'm definitely open to trying it. I think that we are going to establish a channel and then play Crumble. So we have one extra card. Um, I think it's just going to block the Reaping Blade. And then that will open up our Frozen to Death that we arsenaled. And then since it's Florian, we're going to put it on his Grasp of the Arknight. Because late game, him being able to turn a blue into 5 is very, very strong. All right, we did draw blue. We did draw an ice card. So Frozen to Death being an option is online. We're going to take the Rune Chant, and then we're going to block with our 2/3 blocks. We don't care about him getting an embodiment because we aren't going to be playing an attack next turn. We're just going to Frozen to Death and then Arsenal this Winter's Bite. That's a classic play, Cusco. Spinal Pummel. It's a good one. We do have decomposed fodder. So this felling is going to be online with the next attack. We're going to take the Rune Chant. The question is, do we want to play this Earth Lore in front of it? Because we can keep the Mangle and use the Tunic to go Earth Lore into felling. It's a little greedy. We take a bit of damage doing it, but I feel like Florian is a slower deck. And this is essentially a 4-card 13, technically 16, because we're taking a card from him. And if it's a 3-block, we're getting 3 points of value there. Have you ever tried the 9 Winter's Bite build or Frost Fangs? We do have Frost Fangs in the list that we're playing. I have not tried 9 Winter's Bites. That sounds wild. If it's good, I mean, I'd be willing to try it. Yeah, so we're presenting 13 damage. We took presumably 3 points from him. So this is a 4-card 16 virtually, which is very strong. And we get to present some damage back. All right. Not the worst. Tilling's pretty good. We could do something similar. I guess Plow's not great here because he doesn't have an arsenal. We could arsenal the Earthlore then. We're gonna block with the Plow. We're gonna Winter's Bite them to give them a Frostbite and take a card, and then we're gonna swing Summit. Yeah, Winter's Bite's sick for sure. Um, 9 is it sounds a little more memey, but I haven't tested it, so I don't know. We need to start blocking with stalagmite. This is so bad. The list that Leaks just sent us, I think, had red in the sideboard. Um, is it not this one? Yeah, so they have the reds in the sideboard, and I think it's like a staple as like your blue. I really like Arctic though, and that's probably where like my reds would be. Is we're running Arctics in the side of the list that we're playing right now. This just feels so good into aggro matchups. Okay, so we're gonna be able to send Earthlore for 13 again. We'd have to go pitch, play the surge, and then felling, decomposing. I think that's worth it. It also keeps red threats at the bottom of our deck. There is a chance that this game can go long, so definitely something worth considering. All right, he took it. Bramble Spark, Revealing Germinate. He has his own felling. So he's going to make us bottom this Ice Quake, and then we're going to go block block. Although we did just put two reds at the bottom of our deck. Mm, we're going to bottom a blue. Yeah, I'm going to try to save a little bit of life here. Florian's not really the type of deck that has like a crazy amount of on hits. I don't think we've seen a CNC yet. He might be playing it, but I think it's okay blocking here. All right, so this is going to be Autumn's Touch for 10 and 3 Arcane. Hmm. CNC is not doing anything because he doesn't have an arsenal. We can maybe just take 7 and then send Oakenold. It's not looking great for us, though. Like, I don't think I can take a setup turn this late in the game. Like, I could have tried to play Crumble and then Arsenal the Oakenold, but I don't think that's where we want to be right now. Earth form. Dude, I feel like this Malefic incantation has been up for like 20 turns. We're gonna give him the last block on the shield here. Unlock ours. Summit is upgraded. Can attack for 6. Is the D react? Yep. Yeah, I think we're just dead here. Oh my god, this is still up too. He's just gonna be able to leak so much damage. Oh, and that's not it. That is not what we needed. Hmm. So we'll bottom the CNC, go block, block. Right now we're taking 2. We're going to 1. I think we'll go to 2. All right, the Malefic is finally gone. Dark Knight CNC. Okay, so we're gonna break the Well-Grounded to prevent 1 on the Rune Chant, and then we'll have 1 floating for this CNC. We get to set up Rootbound in Arsenal. Oh my god, he had a CMH. Where's that pivot turn that we were promised, Cusco? Plow Under takes our Rootbound away. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or we go 2, 6, 9, playing the pulse. Keeps us alive. I think that we rip the Winner's Bite just to get a card out of their hand and give them a Frostbite. This card's so good in Florian. Arcane Seeds. Second with the Summer's Fall. This is going to be for 7. I'm actually surprised that we've stayed along for so long, or stayed alive for so long. I don't think we're winning this. Like, I think we're just delaying the inevitable, but we'll keep playing. Bramble Spark. We have only seen 2 of their fellings. So I feel like as soon as they send the third one, we lose on the spot. Um, yeah. I think that if we didn't break their gloves though, we would be in a really, really bad spot. We probably would have lost this game like, well, we're on turn 16, like 8 turns ago if we didn't break their grasps. Ooh, there's the felling. Okay. Um, we can prevent the rune chance, 1 floating. We're gonna bottom a card. We block 6. We take 2. We can block with Tunic and stay alive. He has plenty of Earth cards to decompose. We'll bottom this. Go to 1. Still waiting for our pivot turn. Surely this is it. Okay, yeah, he's gonna get us here. Because Reaping Blade's gonna be for 4, right? Oath affects. Yeah, Oath affects weapons. Good games, opponent. Where's that button? Good game. I'm surprised we stayed alive for so long. Yeah, we just never really got our pivot turn that game. Good game, generic player 99. All right, I think that's going to be it for me for the night. So thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, if anyone that joined late, I did a recap of my weekend in the calling Chicago. We had a really, really strong start, and then it just fell off really hard on day 2. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking about streaming on Christmas Eve in the morning. I have dinner with the family in the evening, but for the morning, I'm not really doing anything. So, um, still a little bit up in the air. If I do stream, I might do some like Christmas giveaways, maybe. I did have all this cool swag that I got from Chicago, so like maybe I can give away some of that. Very loose idea, very last minute, so we'll see. If I do end up doing it, I'll post it in the Discord early. That way, you guys will know that that's happening, and then you can join if you want. So yeah, if you're not a part of the Discord, that is in the description of this stream. So definitely join if you want any sort of like updates or anything. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Um, I think I will still be streaming on Wednesday. Um, I guess that's up in the air for right now too. So I'll post that as well. But yeah, hope you guys have a good night, and I hope you enjoy your holidays if I don't see you guys sooner.